What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. With me, I have Andrew. Shit. With me, I have Tosin. That I have.
We had to leave that in there. Thank you for introducing yourself, bro. We
Yeah,
appreciate
I have Tosin and I have Kayode as
we
usual. Sorry
appreciate
for
that.
that. Sorry for that.
Yeah, we good.
Hope you guys like the intro. It's very energetic this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more of that,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Well, yeah, Tosin, nice to have you back. Tosin has been on
Sabbatical.
vacation for the tenth time this quarter.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Cap. But
uh,
nah, happy to be back, man.
but
Happy
yeah,
to be
How
back.
was your
nice, nice.
I don't want to put this out there, but how was your birthday? Like, how was the celebration and everything? How do you feel getting a year older and all that?
Um, honestly, probably one of the most memorable birthdays I've had. Like, just spent it like with like people that like I've known for a while, people that I've known for longer, but people that I think just all care in general. I think that was the most important thing. Like, and I feel like as I get older, that's just the most important thing for me. Like, just having a good time, with people that you care about, like having a good time with people that care about you, like people that you genuinely you know trust and they have your best interest at heart. So I think that was
Facts
important. I'm still waiting for my gift from the
from me.
team, so
We'll speak to our HR.
Yeah, yeah. He'll speak to me. He'll speak to HR. HR will get back to you, bro. But don't worry, rest assured, the HR got you.
for
Mm.
sure. But yeah, like let's kick things off, man. What
All right, so okay. Let's get into it. So I think last episode we had we started off with a little game. So once we keep up that energy and going into every episode, just do something fun, something interesting and engaging. So today, what I have is so this game. I guess you guys. I don't believe you guys have come across this game. So it's stay silent till you hear a better player, essentially. So we're going to do one NBA player and then one football player. So soccer for everyone else that doesn't get the reference. So the first person I'm going, so obviously Andrew and Tosin, both of you guys. So just feel free to say something when you hear it. So first I have here, so stay silent until you hear a better player than Vinicius.
Okay.
Okay, so Musiala, Saka, Palmer, Haaland, Wirtz, Foden, Bellingham.
mm, yeah. I have
Uh,
to stop you right there, my bro.
Yeah, not from me, not from me.
okay. Let me go on. Let's see where Andrew
Hmm.
stops. KDB, Kane,
Yeah, Kane. Harry Kane is better. Yeah.
Kane for you. Okay, so Tosin, you have
Bellingham.
sorry, you have
Jude.
Bellingham and Andrew, you have Kane. So quick question before we move on. Where would you rank if you had like a world ranking right now? Tosin, where would you rank Vinicius? Like top three, top five,
Right,
top
like
10
presently,
Yeah.
presently?
like top 20. I feel like that like he's gonna be yeah.
Top
What's going
20.
on? Actually, we want the same football.
Yeah, because I think we're only looking at the latter end of like obviously we all have recency bias. Like I think that's just the biggest thing in football, right? But like funny enough, Vinicius has the same amount of goals and assists as Darwin Nunes, like which is absolutely abysmal. Like you know what I'm saying?
No, but you can't look
Of
at ball
course
like
not. But I'm
that
saying
though.
like Vinicius has been really good for the past couple of like weeks. Like he's been extremely good for the past couple of weeks, right? But he's still a top 20 player in the world. He's not a top five or a top three player for me right now.
For this season.
For the season, yes, exactly. For the season, yeah.
Okay, so who is the top? Who are the people in your top 10 for this season? If Vinny is not there.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
actually
actually
really
curious.
curious.
Well, obviously, I already said Bellingham, so Bellingham is definitely there.
Hmm.
Um, I would say
That's what we're saying. If it's taking you this long, then I don't feel like
no.
it's
Because
I just don't remember.
there's see
Like
there's
I'm just you just it's just on the spot. But like
yeah, I feel you.
um,
so
if you can call our
no,
names, I'll let you
but
know.
to help
Like
you out,
yeah,
just
No,
saying like there's guys like
if we do it, if we
Mbappe,
even just
Haaland,
sorry, but
KDB.
I'm not saying if we do it position wise, there's no better left winger or left midfielder or anything left than Vinny this season, right? And if we're doing it like team of the year, like individually, like position wise, he will have that position. So at least he's in top 11. It can't be top 20. That's my own
Yeah, I
opinion.
think top 20
It's
is
like top
yeah, I
20 is
think
like
top 20 is
wide,
mad.
bro. Because this
Yeah,
season, nah,
yeah,
he's been astonishing this season.
yeah. But anyways, moving on. Andrew, for you, what would you rank him? I guess if you had your top, I guess top three, top
Vinny
five,
is the
top
best player
ten,
in the
top
world,
20.
so Vinny's number one for me this season.
So well, as you've said that though, now I have one question. You when I mentioned King, you spoke
Yeah,
up, but
because
Vinny
your
is the best
question
player.
wasn't necessarily this season. You just said player. So I was just thinking like
Okay,
career
fair
wise
enough.
and everything. And just if I like personally, it's all and all this thing is all about like recent, like as I said, recency bias and also like personally. Like obviously, I would have taken KDB over Vinny, like you know, but just personally, based on the fact that I hate Man City, that's why I didn't pick KDB. I would have not picked Harry Kane if he was still in Spurs, but it's in Bayern. I have no issues with Bayern. That's what
Fair
I said.
enough.
But Harry Kane.
Fair enough. Okay. We come on to NBA, but before that, I think Vinny is a top five player
Yeah.
this season,
could you guys
personally as
mention
well.
the other five players? No rank, no
For
rank. You don't
me,
have to rank them.
Kane,
Jude,
Mbappe, I'll say Bellingham.
Foreign.
Those are the only three players for me that I like. If anyone puts over him, I don't have any issues with. But I feel for everyone else, I'll probably have an issue with. Yeah, so
So
Kane, Mbappe,
who are the
Bellingham for
best
me
players in the Premier League
are
so
the
far?
three
Who are the
players.
people contending for player of the season?
For player of the season, Premier League, you're going with Rice,
Watkins,
Odegaard,
Haaland, Foden, Rice, Odegaard.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I said Watkins, Isaac.
I would say Wirtz
Yeah,
has been a better player than um Vinny
Vinny.
this season. Yeah.
Vinny.
Yeah, I understand that.
I think that's fair.
He's a
Yeah,
magician, so I
yeah.
understand that.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, and I mean they're in the running for the treble,
And they
right?
haven't
So
lost, you know.
yeah,
I would also
and
argue that someone like
yeah, they
Rodri, I
will
know
beat
Andrew might
him.
not agree with this because of the stats and whatnot, but like someone like Rodri has been a better player. Like Van Dijk, we're looking at positions, has been a better player. Like there are a lot of players that
Yeah, I disagree with those. I disagree
with
with those two.
Rodri and Van Dijk in their
And Van
positions, you
Dijk, yeah,
think they haven't been better than Vinicius?
like
I
and
don't know
Vinny's
how are we going to
position.
do
No,
that
I don't.
comparison.
No, it's just saying like how good of a CB season Van Dijk has had versus how good of a left wing season
Like if you
Vinny
average
has
their
had, right?
games, like how you would get the Andrews, like let's say, their overall ranking each game, if you average it out of 10, like I think Van Dijk would end up with like an
More,
8
yeah.
or like a something, and then Vinny would have, like I said, Vinny at the end of the day has the same amount of goals as Darwin Nunes. I don't know how we want to do that math, but when I saw that,
It's
Nunes
a
is a
strike.
striker.
I mean,
That's
Vinicius,
all.
Vinny is
Madrid
a
don't have a
winger.
striker. So
Yeah, I know, but
it's
he's
like,
a winger and
yeah,
he
it's like
drifts
same. It's the
into
same thing for Salah and Ronaldo. Like Salah is a winger, but we're not going to go into context about if Salah is actually a winger or not. Like we understand the position they play and how they impact the game. So
yeah,
Nunes
no, for sure. But
obviously at
Vinny
the end of the day should
plays
score more
more
goals
of a
because
winger.
he's been in better positions.
Yeah, I guess I just disagree honestly.
I absolutely agree. So
Um,
I get I get where you're coming from.
yeah. Anyways, moving on. So next one we have here is stay silent till you hear a player with higher ceiling than Anthony Edwards. Okay,
Like higher potential.
so I have yeah potential ceiling any way you want to cut it. So first on this list is Scotty Barnes, the Raptors guy. Kid Cunningham, Chet's homegrown, Banchero, Zion, Wemby.
Yeah, Wemby has a way higher ceiling than any basketballer ever.
Okay, I'll go
I'll
on.
keep going, but
Shy.
yeah.
So Shy, Tatum, Luca.
Yeah, for me, Luca. Like, if there was anyone that was meant to pick from that list, it would be Luca. But I don't think Luca has the desire to play
Yeah.
that long. I feel like Luca gets like 1 or 2 rings. I think he'd be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my
He doesn't
issue.
look like he doesn't. He gives that Jokic on serious, but I'm still serious when I want to be serious vibes.
Yeah, but if we
Yeah,
look at like what
Yeah.
Luca has been able to do and some of the records he's been able to break in his time in the NBA, like I, I have no
I guess
words.
looking at potential though, how you guys define it? Like, would you look at it more from a place of the highest peak, for instance, or is it like looking at the averages along their career, where it's like when you look at the career as a whole, who had the better say numbers essentially, or is it more like okay, this guy was at his peak for 3 years, and maybe Anthony Edwards' peak of 3 years would
well,
not
we should
match
be
that
throwing that
guy's.
question to you. You're the one that asked us the highest ceiling.
No, no, no. Like no, but it's potential, right? Like everyone says potential, but I'm saying like
I
what's your own
categorize
understanding of
potential
potential?
as, you know, being at the top for a certain length in time and like being extremely great. Like how far can you get to? Like how good can you get to? That's what I look at like in terms of potential. Like it might be team success, it might be personal success, but how far, like what's the height that you can get to in terms of being an extremely great player? I think that's how I look at potential.
So, if
Yeah, fair enough.
for instance, looking at like Leicester City's season when they won the Premier League, are you going to say that the players that season they hit their potential, or are you saying that if they had been able to continue in such manner over the next like 3, 4 seasons, then they would have hit their
I
potential,
think
but because
in
they don't
yeah,
retain it, they didn't hit their potential?
I think that's a very good analogy, honestly, Andrew. I think they hit their potential. I think their potential was there, but we're looking at it from a team's perspective. We look at it from an individual perspective. You can say someone like Mahrez, like didn't hit his potential till he got to Man City, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at Timberwolves, for example, we can say like, oh, they won 1 championship or 3 championships. That's when they're like there was a highest potential, right? If you look at the
Mm.
Clippers, right, like the Clippers with JJ Redick, um, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul, like the potential they had was insane. Like, did they ever get there? No. You know what I mean? Like they got to the finals and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But I think from an individual perspective, like what I would base Anthony Edwards' potential would be MVPs, final MVPs, championships, like averages, defensive player of the year, things like that. That's what I'm looking at from a personal like perspective of like what he's able to achieve and the ceiling that he's able to get to. Like how many of those he can get to.
Yeah, I'm also in line with what you just said. But I just don't feel like consistency has much to do with potential. That's just how I feel. I feel like if you like hit the peak, like let's say we're playing FIFA and the player is rated 98. I feel like that and then the next few seasons the player is rated like 93, 92, and eventually ends up at like 80. I feel like the player hits his potential by getting to that high, like that high limit, and that's why
But
I gave Wemby. That's why I stopped when he said Wemby, because I feel like Wemby can hit that kind of potential where he will just be like amazing at almost everything stats wise, like rebound, blocks, points, 3 points made, like just the stats that we care about. I feel like he will get to a point where like he will be gathering those numbers so easily. And I don't think that I think we'll just see him as an impossible player at some point. And I feel like that's why I said that I
but
think when has more
but Andrew, to quickly add to that though, touch on that. So you don't think there's a time frame factor to that potential? And what I mean by that is, for instance, if I hit my potential, I'll say like, and I'm just saying a game just to give you a little bit more perspective of what I'm trying to say. So it's like if Wemby becomes a 98th player for one game, so just going by that one game, his passing was 10 over 10, his this was 10 over 10, and all that. In a sense, you can look at that game and say, yo, like this is where we think Wemby is going to be at some point. But doesn't he have to do that for a couple of games for it to now be like, okay, now he's
Yeah,
on this
agreed.
level that he has, for it to now say he has hit his potential? Then after that discussion, then it's now a matter of how long he's able to like maintain that, right? But it's like if what you're saying is just showing it means you're hitting the potential as opposed to being consistent showing it, then I feel like then a lot of players hit their potential, or if not
So
all
the
self.
question again is who has more potential? Like if they hit that potential, whose one is going to be like insane, right? I'm not talking about
Yeah,
who's going
yeah,
to hit it. If they can get injured, they can get injured next week
yeah,
and they won't hit anything. But based on what they have at the moment, based on their character, their physique, everything they have at the moment, I think Wemby has more potential. Like let's say everything goes well for both players, everything is going absolutely well for him and him. Wemby
yeah,
has
yeah,
more
yeah,
potential to hit. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Wemby will
yeah,
hit
I
it.
agree.
I'm just saying like he has more to hit. Yeah. Also, I'm not saying
Yeah,
over a game.
agreed.
Ideally, it should be over a season, max 2 seasons. But you can't just come and Derrick
Okay,
Rose here and
fair.
yeah. Anyways,
Okay, yeah, I agreed. Okay, so moving on to the next segment here. So today we're going to be reading some call it questions, call it hot takes, comments from our listeners. So I have three today, and yeah, let's get
you know I
into it.
forgot.
So the first one
I
here is
forgot it.
from
So I mean, I'm surprised I was still because I forgot it.
yeah, no, it's good, it's good. Yeah, you guys should not be prepared for this. You guys haven't even seen the
Oh, this is
questions
fresh.
actually, so
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
that's good. So first one is from I guess a listener called Josh. Well, he brands this as a hot take. He says Gabriel is having a better season and is a better defender than Saliba, but Saliba gets all the plaudits. Pretty privilege?
What was
Question
that?
mark.
I mean,
Saliba is a pretty boy, and Gabriel is an ugly Brazilian.
that's just wild. Because in my opinion, when they even signed Gabriel, I was thinking, who's this fine young man looking? Because he,
It's not
he came
ugly,
with
sha.
like
For sure, it's not
new
ugly.
denture, like everything was looking fresh.
But that shit kills me, man. When the guys white out their
Yeah,
fake ass, like
he
it's
came
so
like with his
obvious.
own Femio starter pack. It was looking all amazing. So I'm like, what do you call Gabriel ugly? Like based on that point, I think a lot has to do with how the commentators describe players while they are playing. Football is a sport that we all watch, but to an extent, the media shapes what we think about these players. It's not really about their performance at the end of the day. It's just it literally just media sucking their dicks. Pardon my French, but that's just how I see it. I feel like both of them have been
Yeah.
literally almost equivalent. But I feel like Gabriel has been leading the team, especially the defense. I don't know what to do without Gabriel. He's been leading everyone. If you watch the games closely, he's always shouting at him, calling him out, telling him to do what to do, when to do. You know, it's just that when Saliba does these things, he does it in a very eloquent way. And the commentator has nothing to say but to just be like, wow, this is he's doing so calm for his age, for this, for that. It's just that hype, that hype that we get. That's why I think is the issue. And why people see him like better than Gabriel. But trust me, Arsenal wouldn't be where they are without Gabriel in the team this season. Probably without Saliba as well, but we would feel more impact without Gabriel in Arsenal this
Have
season.
they both played the same amount of games? Like I feel like they've played in almost every game together. Yeah.
Roughly the
Yeah,
same.
a lot of games
Yeah.
together. Yeah. Yeah, Gabriel is our leader.
Roughly
Gabriel
the
has
same.
provided us more goals. Like there's just so many stats wise. Gabriel is way ahead. I don't really
Yeah.
get this whole Gabriel Saliba comparison, but and I don't think it's
Yeah.
pretty privileged too.
Yeah. Doesn't what's your own
No,
take?
just piggybacking off what Andrew said. did I just say piggybacking? Anyways, um,
Pause.
but essentially, I think pretty much like the media does push a narrative of Saliba to listeners, supporters, like whoever you want to call it, fans. You keep hearing the term like Rolls Royce defender, like it's flashy, it makes it look seamless, it looks like everything's come so easy to him. And with Gabriel, sometimes it looks like he could be clumsy, he can make certain mistakes. But I think I've just realized that that's just how he plays. He's an aggressive defender. Like he wants to get it muddy, he wants to get dirty, right? And exactly,
Rudiger vibes.
exactly. And they could sometimes like create some mistakes and errors by doing all of these things because they put themselves out there a lot, right? More than any other defender would. So yeah, I think they've been equal this season. I think for me, the style of football that I like to watch, kind of players I admire, Saliba would be like my pick just because of how he plays the game. Like, there's certain times where like as a defender, I would expect a player to be composed and hold the ball, maybe beat the striker, the attacker, whatever, and then pass the ball. I feel like Saliba has more tendencies to do that. Meanwhile, sometimes Gabriel is probably just a smarter defender. It's like, let me just put it out of here, which is also fine, But yeah, is it a hot take?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it valid too? Very much so. So great, great.
Yeah, I think the hot take side of it is the fact that for most people, if you tell most people Gabriel is better than Saliba, their first reaction is going to be like, "What? Like you don't know football? How can you say that?" Like, you get what I'm saying? So I feel maybe that's the hot take side of it. Like, if you're on the wrong part of football Twitter and you say that, more people are going to attack you than agree with you,
Mm.
essentially, right? So to a certain extent, with everything guys have said, I kind of agree. Because I just feel he doesn't get the credit he deserves, and Saliba just fits more of the poster boy vibes, and like I feel like Arsenal fans have highly rated Saliba from day one, so they just want to keep going with that flow of like, yeah, like our like especially the whole Rolls Royce term, like you mentioned, right? Like it just you can't calling someone Rolls Royce and then saying the person he's defending with is better than him. It doesn't, it doesn't it doesn't go well. So yeah, so I kind of agree. Um, anyway, so moving on to the next one here. This this person's name is Big Time Hater, and then I guess this is just a it seems like a comment, and then I'll just ask if you guys agree or disagree. It's like they better drop the big six gimmick. It is just big four now. United and Chelsea are ass.
I think that person is probably young, very young too. If he thinks like this is how football works, football is very, very, especially the Premier League is very, very not stable.
Vol-
Like it shakes. Especially
Volatile.
the top four, top six, whatever. It shuffles every single time. Like Aston Villa is getting the Champions League this year. Newcastle won last year. Like what are we saying? Like it
Yeah,
shuffles. So that probably that person is just as I
yeah,
said, maybe his name, big time hater, is probably just hating on Chelsea and Man U. But
yeah.
ID,
Because to the point you just even made, right? Spurs are not in. This person clearly still considers Spurs a top four team, but they are not in the top
ex-
four either.
uh,
Aston Villa is the fourth team this
exactly.
season, right? So,
So as I said, the person's probably just
right.
like new to the sport, so maybe new to Premier League, and also maybe he's just an agenda pusher, as he says his name is Big Time Hater. But bro,
Yeah. First. So last thing here is so this person, I guess this is an anonymous person, just says random fan. Oli Watkins is the best player in the Premier League this season, then Palmer and Foden. Do you guys disagree or agree with
I think
that?
he has the best numbers. No, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has the most. I think Palmer is second. I think he has
yeah, he has
32
the
or
best
something like
GA this
that.
season. So
Those movements. Yeah,
I understand that take. Honestly, and they go into Champions League. Aston Villa, they have an amazing season. I
yeah.
personally, at the moment, I use Aston Villa on FIFA, and I've been winning a lot of games. So I can understand the take, honestly, but at the end of the day, even as your understanding takes, you have to think about the man called Erling Haaland. Like, it haven't played much this season. People are calling this a bad season for him. Nigga has 26 goals in the Premier League. This is not
But But I feel there's context to that in the sense that obviously Watkins is not better than Haaland. Do you get what I'm saying? Well, I actually don't think, like, I can agree with that statement to a certain extent, but I think Watkins has definitely had a better season than Haaland.
Agreed.
For me, Haaland has scored more goals. Yeah, I get that. But again, when you factor in things like, okay, how many assists does Watkins have? Do you get, like, he's not just scoring, but he's
Yeah,
also providing for his teammates. And then we also factor in the amount of chances City creates. Do you get, like, the amount of chances Haaland is getting in a game is obviously higher than whatever Watkins is getting from Aston Villa. But yeah, I get the take. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but would I call Watkins the best player in Premier League this season? Probably not.
exactly. So, and why wouldn't you call him the best player this season?
The reason is I feel Foden has been better in terms of, like, impact on winning, right? And at the end of the day, it's hard to it's hard to give for me. It's hard for me to give the best player to someone that hasn't or isn't winning. Like, unless you're putting up like outrageous numbers. Like, for instance, if Watkins did 50 goals and assists, for instance, like, at that point, it's just like, okay, maybe 50 is too much, but you get
Like
what I'm trying to
if
say.
he
It's just
puts
like,
up
you just
Suarez
put up
numbers in
numbers.
Liverpool. Yeah,
Yeah, essentially, we're just like, okay, this guy, whether you win Prem or not, it doesn't
yeah,
matter, right? But it's like, but when you have another player that is putting up numbers close to you and then is winning, it's just like, okay, are you really better than that guy? Obviously, the situations are
yeah.
different, so
If Premier League had
yeah,
like
but
an MVP award, it'll probably be the most valuable player because it's the most valuable player to his team in every sense of the word, and it's also the most valuable player you can
yeah,
technically
yeah,
see in the Premier League. So I can understand that, but best,
yeah,
it's a bit tricky when you say best.
yeah.
Well, I just want to say
Yeah.
that,
I like that analogy.
yeah, great analogy as well. But I just want to say that to the random fan that I agree with you. I think that Ollie Watkins is absolutely the best player in the Premier League this year, um, because we're comparing him to teams that are stacked with players, right?
Facts.
Like we're comparing him to teams where, you know, I mean, there's a lot of competition there, but even with Aston Villa as a team, there's a lot of high competition there. Like any of those players could have just been as effective as he is, but he's standing out in that team with goals and assists as a striker. It's very, very hard to do that. Like extremely hard to be able to put up those numbers as a striker and kind of playing the playmaker role. Quick question. Is he also on penalty duties? I think he is.
Isn't it again?
No, I think it's McGinn, but I'm pretty sure he
Quite
might
a
have
few,
taken
right?
some penalties this season. But he's not. But he's not on penalty duties. It's McGinn. Is either McGinn
Yeah,
or
I
this
don't
guy
think
or
it's like
Douglas
the
Luiz. Actually,
primary.
I think it's Douglas. Yeah, I don't
Douglas
think he's
Luiz
Yeah, I
on
don't
has
think
penalty
taken
so.
a few
duties.
as well.
No. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that's a fair take, honestly. And just again, Andrew, I think the MVP analogy is great. Like, if they were giving MVPs, I 1000% would think he should win like an MVP. But to be player of the year, they always tend to give it to the best player on the winning team with Prem. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. So now we're going into our topics for today. And to start, I'm sure you've all seen Mbappe's announcement. Even though Fabrizio spotted for us a while back, but the official announcement came out. Like, what's so funny? Someone said something on Twitter, right? Which was, if not for Fabrizio, that video would have made everyone go crazy. Where it's just like, a video of Mbappe coming out just saying he's
Yeah,
leaving. But Fabrizio has done here we go since last year.
yeah.
So
See,
everyone,
it reminded me of one. I don't know, but as an Arsenal fan, we've had times where we're holding on to players that we did not technically deserve, like Thierry Henry, like Van Persie. And then when they came out to announce that they were leaving, like the emotional heartbreak that I felt, even the Henry zone, there was no social media then, it was newspaper, and I was in high school then. I remember I was like in junior secondary school, and I saw it, and I did not believe what I was. I was like, all these fake papers, this is all this fake news. But like now, Mbappe just made his announcement. No one even really cares. People are just liking it and just
Are
commenting
you
because they
guys
already know it's
are
leaving.
you guys ever curious as to why there's certain people in the industry that have these rights, like the Fabrizios, um the guys from the NBA? They're skipping my mind right now.
Watch.
Yeah,
Woj
Watch and all them,
and
yeah,
So
Sham,
Shams and the
like
rest.
what's the deal there?
Yeah.
I understand Watch Zone. What is employed? It's not
By
like
who?
a by ESPN. He literally, if you watch TV, you see what sometimes
Oh,
on the
I do
news.
know
Like
that. I do know. I know he's employed, but why are they the first people to get the news?
no, that's what I'm saying. Like I understand him telling us the news because like,
Probably as a
it,
reporter,
but like yeah,
technically.
that's his job. Like he's a journalist,
But I'm
and
saying, why does it go to them first?
I think it's a relationship thing. Like, for
So
instance,
with the
like if I
NBA, so
owned a
relationship with the
club
NBA.
or a
yeah, not with
no,
the NBA,
probably
but
with,
with the company he
I
works
mean,
for.
definitely with the NBA, but with the teams too. Because, for instance, if you want to get news out, for instance, right, if Woj is say tweeting it, for instance, everyone is taking that seriously. That will get you the most attention and all that. So yeah, that I feel like that's why that is that way. I'm trying to get news out or like, oh yeah, we just gave KD a new contract. Want to announce it? Oh yeah, hit up Watch because if Watch announces it, it's going everywhere. So I feel that's what it is. Honestly,
So
I'm not
so
certain.
there's a little difference. So as I was saying before, as I said, like newspaper back in the days, people write those things on newspaper. They have writers, journalists that write those things. Watch is like that. He's employed to an agency, a sports media, TV, whatever. It could be ESPN, it could be Sportsnet, whatever. And he's been writing these things. He's been talking about these things. Social media came and it just moved this channel from actually publishing this news on blogs and all this stuff directly to social media. So it's that field has been there for him, and that's like his job. He's just tweeting out what he's already been doing before. Remember when we look
Yeah,
for transfer news, we used to Google it and read blogs and stuff. So rather than doing all of that, he's just
yeah,
tweeting it, which is normal because like they're paying him for that. Fabrizio, on the other hand, is not employed to anyone. Fabrizio is what you are describing. He has relationships and morals in all these clubs, and they're passing like one juice is moving, they send it to him and he pays them money, and then because when he gets his tweet out, he gets major interactions, he gets social media money and all that. So he's like an influencer. He's not like employed to any direct big sports company.
Got it.
So that's
yeah.
the
Yeah,
difference.
as as you just said that just reminded me of back in like high school days, or even maybe even
Yeah,
early uni days too, where I would wake up in the morning in summer and you just load go.com to see if there's any
yeah.
transfer
And
news,
those
right? And it wasn't you ain't checking Twitter, you ain't
exactly.
checking anywhere. It was just like you had this
And
website.
those news was written by someone. So instead of now going to the website, the
Someone,
person is
yeah,
just giving it to you where you always see your regular thing.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
understand Woj and all this,
yeah,
all that guys. But
yeah,
Fabrizio is where like some his work doesn't even say it till like it's very close. Maybe like it's the day of or a day before. Just say immediately he hears it because it's like rumor, hot rumor. I want to give you guys hot gist, which we liked it initially, but now it's like it's already saturated our taste buds. Like, bro, it's too
yeah,
much.
bro. Like before your team is even bidding for a player or any of those things, you already know that
This
they're
guy
going to
was
bid
talking
and they're
about
going
a
to accept
player
the
in
bid, and
Kaduna.
the player has already
This guy was
agreed.
talking about a player in Kaduna. Like, how do you have people in Kaduna, bro? Like, what's going on? I was so scared that day. I was like, his reach is very, very far. He has more reach than even
Yeah,
journalists, and it's just amazing to see what he's done.
yeah.
But
But
back
yeah.
to the news, so the
Anyways, let's go
Mbappe
back
story.
to yeah, back to the news.
Um,
So anyways, I think what I just wanted to briefly get your thoughts on this. More so, everyone believes he's going to Madrid, which he probably is. You know, do you think that's the move? And if you don't, where do you think he should be going ideally?
Tosin, can we hear your take on this?
Doesn't yeah.
Um, I would say Mbappe should be going to Liverpool. No, I'm serious. I
Valid
think
though.
there's
It's valid,
I think
Loki.
he had that conversation or that moment with Klopp where we all thought like there was going to be something out of it. Even Bellingham. I thought Bellingham at some point had some sort of like relationship with club or with Arnold, and you're going to end up in Liverpool. But if Madrid win the Champions League and that's Mbappe's goal, it only makes sense for him to join them again next year, for them to try again. But if he wants like to be worshipped, if he wants to have some sort of like you know presence in like the best league in the world, to be known as the best player, the endorsements, all these things, I think England is where he needs to be.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think for me, I've just always said I need Mbappe, or like if Mbappe is going somewhere, I feel like it should be a team where he just goes to be the main guy essentially, right? Like you're going to that, you're taking a team that is very good, or like say a 7/10, 7.5/10 to like a 9/10 or something like that. But like Madrid is the best team in the world. They also have Vinicius in your position, so it's just like you're going to the best team in the world. It's almost like KD going to Golden State, literally. Do you get what I'm saying? Where it's just like, yeah, it's just like, bro, like you can go somewhere else. So for that reason, I just find it interesting. But then I understand the appeal of Real Madrid. Obviously, it's Real Madrid, right? So yeah, if you can come to Chelsea, why not? We have Modric right now. You can bounce Modric and Sterling. So
Yeah, I'm also on the same train of thought as Tosin and you. I feel like um Mbappe is a good signing for literally almost any club, but it's just what club needs him and what club would he be very impactful, and and all these other business moves and all of that. That's the second question, and also affording him and all of that. But if we're talking about the team that if he enters the team is going to suit perfectly, as Tosin said, Liverpool is a very good option. Personally, I don't feel Man City is a good option. I feel like they already have too many people on the left. So same with Chelsea, they have too many people on the left. They've invested so much in those players,
we'll sell
and
them.
that they haven't finished paying for. And it's not as easy as it's not as easy as selling them. So I don't. I feel like there's teams that can obviously slide in easily. Even Bayern is also a good team that he'll fit in. There's just so many teams that will fit in, but ideally, um, we all know that it's going to be Real Madrid, and because they can make it work. They've done it before. They know how to handle superstars. They've handled superstars that play the same positions. They figured it out, and I feel like they can still do it. So you know, would it work? Would it not work? Well, we just have to wait and see. I don't really know what's going to happen, but we just have to wait and see. But if I want to put my
Hmm.
mouth there, I can say it also suits Arsenal because we need surgical help on the left side. That's
I won't
true
lie.
now.
I won't lie. I think it fits. I think it fits us now though, and the reason I'm saying so is because of the kind of player Martinelli is in terms of like pace and all that, right? So it's just like imagine actually getting a player that is
Yeah.
good at that. Because I feel like Mbappe is just a super upgrade
Mhm.
on someone like
Yeah.
Martinelli, and you see Martinelli gets in positions where it's like if this guy was actually a serious footballer, he'll be doing
Bro,
so
of
much
course, so
better.
much.
Like we've seen him, we've seen the games where probably like last season where like Martinelli seemed like he was about to, go to the next level in that sense, right? So it's just like a player like Mbappe with all that, nah, like Arsenal, like I feel like that's kind of thing that Arsenal is winning Prem next year. Like if they have Mbappe instead of Martinelli or
Mbappe is
Jesus
never going
or
to Arsenal.
Trossard on the way. Oh yeah, we know
Yeah,
that.
ideally he's not going to go to Arsenal. I can see him
Yeah, we
going
know
to
it's not going.
Premier League if or after his stint in Real Madrid. Once he has conquered the world, eventually like won the Champions League and won the Ballon d'Or. I can see him making a choice to move to Premier League to just do it for doing sake, and then I can see him going to any team. But at the moment, I don't see him going to Arsenal. But it is what it is. You have to hope.
Yeah, I agreed. Okay. So moving on to the next topic here. So next thing here I actually want us to do is the EPL team of the season is coming up. So I want us to go through our EPL team of the season. Like let's get everyone's thoughts on that. So I actually don't know how best if we should all individually go or we should go position by position.
I think we should
Um
have a podcast team of the year. I think that's the best way to go about it. So,
I agree.
like, we could just go around and start from like keeper. We can all just pick a certain player and then agree on if we think that's the player or not, and do it like that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I think that's fair. One thing to call out, I guess, first things first is I think we should pick a formation.
Mm,
Right. I think definitely not for the back because I don't think there's been any good left backs or right backs this season. At the length, like when I'm saying this season, I'm just saying
Poro, from Tottenham.
I don't think that's team of the
Yeah.
season
Is
worthy
it wait team of
personally.
season only Premier League or in all of
In
soccer?
Premier
Yeah,
Oh,
League.
okay, Premier League.
Premier League,
Okay, okay.
the Premier League.
Premier League. Then
Right.
hmm,
Yeah, I'm thinking three at the back for sure.
hmm.
Then two midfielders. We have three midfielders, two strikers. So almost like 3-5-2 essentially.
Three at the back.
Okay,
Okay.
obviously Van Dijk. Oh no, start with keeper. Sorry, keeper of the year.
Pick- Pickford has
Really?
to be Pickford for me.
What about
Yep. And I
what
honestly
about
don't even think
Tottenham
I don't think it's
keeper?
close.
Vicario.
Is it
Yeah, I think he's
Vicario
really.
or what's his name? Yeah, I think he's had a good season, but like I wouldn't say, you know, I won't say team of the
Hey,
season
sorry,
good.
I'm lost.
Why?
Keep, when we're talking about keepers, like what are we using to rate them? Is the amount of saves, clean sheets? Like, what is
Yeah.
the reason why we're mentioning, Vicario and
I think
Pickford? Well, Pickford
all of those things is
especially.
So
fine.
from yeah, exactly all this. So for me, like Pickford is, I think he's either second or third, like on the clean sheet list. And then for saves, I think he's top five or something like that for saves. Um, the first person that came to my mind was your boy Raya, but Raya has obviously he has the most clean sheets in the league. He also has, I think, top three errors leading to goal. He's not top 20 in saves in the league. So it's just like he's there because of the defense as opposed to like how good he's been as a goalie. But like I feel Pickford, like on for all the major stats, for all the stats you check for goalies, Pickford is up
Okay,
there. So I mean that's why I'm saying Pickford.
okay. I also agree with Pickford, but I was just trying to get the criteria before we
Yeah,
make random things.
yeah, fair enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are we good with Pickford, Tosin?
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. I don't, you know.
Pickford works, yeah. Then,
okay, so
okay,
moving
for the
on to
three at the back.
CBs, I think this answer should be relatively easy.
Is
I
it?
think VVD, Gabriel, and Saliba.
No. I think this is where we have to decide between Gabriel or Saliba. I don't think both of them would be in our team of the season.
So who will be your third? Because and I'm saying this because their CB partnership this season has been
Oh, okay.
great. I won't lie, right? And I feel like they've both had a major part to play with that. It's not like Saliba is carrying Gabriel or Gabriel is carrying Saliba,
Mm,
right? So, I feel if we're saying we want to pick one, then when I feel we're not necessarily being fair, but then again, I want to hear who you have instead of Saliba or instead of Gabriel.
I was honestly about to go with this guy, Master Akanji. Not because of anything, just because the guy's an amazing footballer, right? He makes very little mistakes. Kane, fusing in because this is his first season in City, yeah. Fusing in with City
Second.
with the coach. Second, sorry. Fusing into City's team with a coach like Guardiola and all his tactics and everything, and being able to still play at such a high level is just amazing to me. I would have said Akanji, but I don't know who to replace him with. That's why I'll just leave it as Saliba and
Yeah,
because I'm sure Tosin also agrees, and you also agree with Saliba and Gabriel. So
yeah,
okay, so
yeah,
let's move to the midfield.
yeah. I guess it's just a thing of giving them
What
their
about
credits
Diaz though?
individually.
Like, I think he's been good too. He's made a few mistakes here and there, but I think he's been good all the same.
Ruben Dias has been solid,
So,
right? But there's just something where Man City doesn't give the defenders enough things to do. Where you,
bro, I was about to say
yeah, I
that,
want their
man.
games too. Like, see, Ruben Dias he has one of the highest amount of passes this season because he's just passing at the back, bro. They're not really
Yeah,
on that threat
they're
a
not put
lot
to the
of times.
test. Yeah,
Exactly. That's why. But
And when you see City under fire, they almost always crumble. Sure, they will score more goals than
Mhm.
you, but once you see them under fire, like those guys, not that they don't hold their own, but like they're up and down. Like you won't see Akonji that you're talking about, that gifted son,
Yeah,
um,
that was a tough.
that and son said, you get what I'm saying? It's just like little things
Mhm.
like that, right? And again, everyone
True.
makes mistakes, right? So it's not anything like that, sure.
So
But
how many
going
midfielders are
forward,
we having? 4, 5,
so midfielders, so yeah, so essentially we're going to have
3,
technically three midfielders.
3.
Yeah. So like I guess call it two. Yeah. When I say three, I just mean like one is going to be like a cam essentially. So not don't look at it like um
So
maybe
three
like
at the
three
So
back,
chiefs or
so
anything.
three at the back.
are we having
Two guys are
wing
sitting.
backs?
Well, not wing backs. I just don't have wingers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Rice and
So two
Rodri.
sitting DMs and one in front.
Yeah.
Okay. Rice Rodri is good. Yeah, I think we
That
all
works for
agree
me
with
too,
that.
but Endo should also get a shout there. But here's what it is.
If anyone's getting a shot, Casado is getting a shot.
Casado. Casado has cost at least
Yeah.
3 or 4 goals this season on his ones.
Not three or four, at most two.
Three
But
or four
I
for sure.
believe
Like I
Casado
can
has
find,
a
I can
better
find three
season
or four
than
chances where
Endo.
Casado has
And
caused a goal
no problem. It's and that's fine. But it won't change my
or
mind
giving
that
away a
Casado has had
penalty
a
or giving
better
away a
season than Endo.
penalty.
That's fine. Does not change my mind.
Let's just leave it as Rice and
Fair
Rodri,
enough.
right?
Fair enough.
Okay. So who's going to be the CM or Cam?
So I think this is where we have a decision
McAllister.
to make. So so I have four guy leave this guy. So I
It's
think
just
there are
going to
four
be Liverpool
players.
players.
Guy, there so Andrew, there are four players here, but I think how we decide which players and then that will decide the positions, right? So the four players I'm thinking of obviously are Odegaard, Foden, Palmer, right? And then if you mention someone like Saka too, like I'm not necessarily in disagreement. But I feel like you have to pick three of those four. And if you guys disagree, let me know if I'm missing anyone.
So we're just going to put the 4 players anywhere.
No, I mean Foden can always be on the left, Palmer can always be on the
We,
right, Palmer can
this
be in the
our team will
middle.
lose
Like
games, because nobody's going to be defending the wing.
no,
You're putting Foden to do wing back, to do wing.
no, no, but he's not a
So
wing
who's going
back
to?
though.
So
He's
when
a
there's a counter attack at the back, who's going to defend us at the back, like on the wing, on the back?
That's where see, and that's the thing. Guys like
That's
Rodri
what
and
they do.
Rice are great at breaking play, right? And this it's be a possession heavy team, right?
Okay.
And you also have the speed of guys like Saliba and VVD. You have Gabriel. So trust me,
Okay.
we'll be all
So in
right.
that case, it means that there'll be a huge discussion between Foden and Saka on the right wing. But I agree, we'll all take Foden because we can't take Saka over Foden this season. And then for the left wing, who are we going to pick?
Luis Diaz.
Left wing. But and actually, I think Foden will be on the left, and then Foden plays
No,
left more
plays
than he
right
plays
more.
right. No.
All his productive games just sitting now from right now.
Right or the 10 or false 9.
Okay,
However
fair
you
enough.
want to put
Yeah.
it.
But anyways, so I think Foden. So I guess if you're picking Foden over Saka there, then it remains Palmer and
Palmer
left.
plays where? Right and center.
It plays right and
So
center.
how are we going to do this? This is tough. That's what I was about to say.
It doesn't
We cannot put them
matter,
anywhere.
bro.
Just
This
team
team
of the
of
year.
these are
Okay,
these
okay,
these are,
cool.
these are team of the
Okay,
exactly.
so
These are
in
team
that
of the
case, then
year.
we'll just put we'll put Foden on the left wing, we'll put Palmer on the right,
Mm-hmm.
put Odegaard in the center, then we need the striker.
Again, center. We need two strikers.
2 strikers again. How many players?
We have
We've
many
done
players. We've done 3 at the
We
back.
already have 10 players.
Wait. Oh, chill. So 3 at the back. 2 in midfield. That's 5. Then so that's 5. Then those 3 players. That's 8. So we still have 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Watkins and Haaland. I think that's it.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So I
But you
think
guys give a shout out to Trossard. It's been a dog at the end of this trial, this 2024. It's been a dog, but yeah.
Maybe that's the dog you're referring to.
No, people have given me so much money. Trust me.
He's been clutch.
Very
He's been
clutch, bro.
clutch. He's been clutch.
Every
I'll give
game I
him
just
that.
play just to score and I go to
Um,
sleep. I don't even bet no.
yeah. Even Havertz has
To
been
some
clutch for you
extent,
guys
yeah,
too.
to the latter
Yeah,
end of the season.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess just to call it out, we have Pickford in
Hmm?
goal. We have Saliba, Gabriel, and VVD at the
Hmm.
back. We have Rodri and Rice sitting in
Yep.
front of them. Then we have Odegaard in that camp position, Foden and Palmer on the wings. And then we have Haaland and
You
Watkins in
guys
strike.
put up a better 11 better than this, and let's know. Let us know if you think there's a better 11 than what we just put together, and if they can take on our team.
Yeah, or if you think there's anyone that we're missing out on that should definitely be on the team, or someone you think that shouldn't be on the team,
I think
for
I
sure
think
let us know.
we're missing out on a few Liverpool players. You know, mention Luis Diaz, Javi Elliott could also bench Cole Palmer or
Yeah, I think Nunes should bounce, but should bounce. It's bounce. We don't even need two of them. We just need just Nunes. We can play one man down.
yeah, for real.
But yeah, I think before we move on to our last piece of the episode, just very quickly, what do you guys think of? It's game 37 right now. And it's game week 37 right now, and we have everything tied, or not tied, but like everything's still close. Like we're going to the last game week of the season. Um, and are you hopeful that City drop points, or do you think it's done?
I'm an Arsenal fan, so ideally, I'll be obviously be hopeful that City just point and win the league. But also realistically, I don't see them dropping points against a West Ham that really doesn't have anything to play for. And current form, West Ham is not. West Ham has like maybe one win, one loss, or three losses and one draw, or something like that. So I don't see them doing anything to stop City. But end of the season, anything happens. City has also experienced miracle at the end of the season, and they benefited from it. So anything can happen. But obviously, I'm not going into that game with high expectations. I'm just going to go into the match day. We can just watch and enjoy whatever happens. But I feel it's going to be very entertaining. I feel it's going to be very similar to what happened with Dortmund and Bayern last season. It's going to be very entertaining. Something's going to, like, people can switch during the game and like you switch back. So many things are going to happen, right? But that's what I feel. I also feel like we've been neglecting the relegation uh or the relegating teams
Battle.
because there's no real battle anymore. They're going out, but it's just like one or two teams that might not go out. At the moment, I think like Burnley, Luton, and Nottingham Forest are still in the run for who might go out. It looks like Luton, if Luton wins and Nottingham Forest loses, Luton could stay in the league. But yeah, I think that's the only battle going there. I think Burnley and Sheffield are already confirmed relegated. But yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, with Luton, they technically are
goal
as well
difference and
because
stuff.
the
Yeah,
goal difference is like 10. So unless they want to score 6 and hope Nottingham Forest
yeah.
lose 4, yeah, they're going home. And I wonder if they actually play each other today. Okay, no, actually, Nottingham Forest face Burnley, so not Luton. Luton are
Yeah,
facing
so
Fulham, so yeah, they're probably
yeah,
going
true.
home, but there's still hope for them.
Yeah, and for like top four
Um,
battle, I think it's already also settled. Aston Villa has qualified. I think there's the only battle I think is left is probably Chelsea and Spurs on who's going to go to like the confirmed Europa League spot.
not not just Chelsea and Spurs, like Man U and
Newcastle.
Newcastle are still in that battle because if Chelsea lose and Man U Newcastle win, we drop 1 or 2 spots. Okay, we probably don't drop 2 spots because of goal difference
Yeah.
in Man U. But if we lose, we drop 1 spot. But as long as we tie, we stay sixth. If we win and Spurs lose, then we can go
Yeah,
up
and
to
that would be
fifth. So
amazing
it's
for
still
Chelsea to end this season fifth. People are not really talking about how crazy Cole Palmer has been. The impact has been single-handedly lifting a team that's literally and everyone is saying, oh, they're doing bad. Lifting them from 10th to fifth is big. It's a big deal. And I feel like if that happens,
No,
it's
no,
just going
no.
to be astonishing end of season. There's just so many talking points, and I don't. I
Yeah,
feel like we've all been focused more on the Arsenal Man City thingy,
title,
which is not
title
really
race.
a race
Yeah.
because we already know how Man City is.
It is a race. It's a race. Don't worry. It is a race, but
Yeah,
I get what you're
yeah,
trying to say.
exactly.
It's a
It is
race.
a
So,
hopeless race.
which is ironically against Usain Bolt. Like, remember when
Liverpool,
Bolt was on
Liverpool
form?
fans.
Ironically against Bolt is like you know that you can win, no, but you're not going to be hoping to win. You're just hoping to just do your best, right? So, it is what it is. Hopefully, something happens that day and it turns out to be
Yeah,
a memorable
I feel
win.
something interesting will go on.
Hopefully,
I feel something interesting where I don't know where to come from. And I honestly imagine a situation where both teams drop points. Like imagine City drop points and Arsenal drop points. I feel like that would even be crazier.
I predicted like
Right.
a
So
month ago that we're going to it's going to be a goal difference that will decide the thing. And
yeah,
and even now that
yeah.
I'm looking at the goal difference is even one. So it's not even
But
No,
it
but the thing
can't
with
be
that no,
goal
but the thing
difference
is for as long
anymore.
you
How so?
no no it can. It can. And that's why you guys are good because if City tie and they win, then you win
automatically
on
a
goal
goal
difference.
difference.
Automatically, right? And that's the only way goal difference comes into play, anyways. Is they have to tie and you have to win.
Sure.
So yeah. But yeah, I think yeah. Let's see what happens. It's been I mean we've had a lot of these battles with Liverpool still. Where Liverpool takes City down. I don't lie, I feel bad for Liverpool. In the past where you have 90. I think Liverpool have like 390 point seasons where
Yep, yep.
they won
And
only
and the,
one.
the issue with Man City is
You know,
they get to a point in the season
that's
where they don't lose games, right? It doesn't really they're not like worried about those games anymore. It's like the last 10 games they get like 30 points. They've done it the past I think 5, 6, 7 years. They don't lose at the end of the season, so you can just you know.
yeah. But yeah, okay. So I think that's it for footy and
Wait, I want to say something.
today.
I want to say
And to
something
round
just
up,
before we round up. If mistakenly wins that league by whatever chance, Luke or Cranny, but you guys have to clap for me for like 2 weeks. Every time we record, they'll be clapping for me.
okay.
But if we lose,
And if you don't win, you
what
hear
would I
it. Don't
hear?
worry. Oh, you don't worry, don't worry. You'll find
Okay,
out.
sure.
I don't. I don't want to get tired of myself.
Okay.
So let's sit to win the league first.
Okay.
So what happens if you don't win?
I just felt like putting that out there,
What
Sha.
happens if you
Huh?
don't win?
If you don't win, it's a normal day now. Like, so I feel like that's how the whole Premier League sees this league currently. If Man City wins, nobody cares. But if any other team wins, everyone cares, right? Am I wrong?
Correct, correct.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
it's facts. But anyways, yeah, we can round up. We can round up.
So anyways, so I think to round up, um, we could just briefly touch on obviously the NBA playoffs going on right now. If anyone has any thoughts on, I guess was guys. Timberwolves went up 2-0, now they're down 3-2 and all that. Like there's just a lot going on, obviously. Yeah, and yeah, well, I guess at this point it's safe to have thoughts on who you think would win, who you think is going to the finals
I
and
think
things
I
like
think a
that.
good way
So
to segment this would be
yeah,
for us to just look at all this like the semifinals right now. There are four semifinals. We can just
I mean Celtics are in
Yeah,
finals
oh
now,
Celtics
yeah,
just
anyways.
won.
sorry. So they just won today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, so I think with the other three games, we can just like pick who we think we're like is going to win, and then like we can kind of like round it off there. I think we can always look towards the next episode and do it based off of that again, like see how teams are playing and things. Because I feel like this entire playoffs has been very unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
Like
There's a
extremely,
lot of
like
games that are edging towards like game seven at the moment. Like 5 games are
absolutely.
heading
And
towards
aside
game
from just
seven.
the game sevens, it's like you know the home advantage hasn't been much of a big deal anymore. Teams are winning
yeah,
away
yeah,
more than they win at home in some cases. Teams are winning,
yeah,
So
yeah.
just Andrew, you can kick us off with the Denver versus Timberwolves series, and then you can jump into um,
The
Dallas,
Dallas,
OKC, and then
OKC,
obviously the
and the
Knicks and
Knicks.
Pacers.
Yeah, for Denver and Timberwolves series, like initially how it started, and with Timberwolves going up 2-0, and everyone, the media as usual, just acting like they don't have Jokic, the MVP, and the best player in the world in their team. They started, saying all these things like, oh, they don't deserve to have won the
You're
league,
gonna
that
get
they are going to
swept.
get swept, all this and all that. And I feel like, Jokic and team have shown who they are, shown like, we deserve this. Like we're also here for a reason. Like we're not just jokers. And yeah, they were able to tie the series. So I feel like now it's anybody's game. Um, the defensive team of the year hasn't really been defensive anymore so far throughout the games that I've seen from the Timberwolves. Defensive player of the year has been sleeping. I personally think he needs to
A
stick
fraud.
to being a father. He just became a father like a week ago, and needs to just stay home and focus on that. Like they were winning games when he wasn't around, so just stay and focus on
They
that.
won
He's
one game,
literally,
Andrew, when he wasn't there. One.
and
They
then every
won.
once since he came back, so he should stay over there and focus on this is baby. Maybe he's distracted. Like we never know. We all haven't been fathers before. We don't know how that feels. So I personally feel like something is wrong somewhere. Yeah. So that's what I feel about this. I feel like
It's not the defense player of the year. That's
yeah, I
bold.
feel
But
I feel like eventually it'll go to a game seven and it'll be very entertaining, but I really don't know who's going to nick it at the end.
yeah, I think for still on Timberwolves, right? I think obviously when they went two up, at that point it felt like they had won the series. I actually started to believe like, okay, these guys can actually win the series. But I think what has let them down is two things. Cat, which is a very, very unserious guy. I've always not liked him to be very honest, but this just shows it even more. He's always chatting. He's always down to shit talk as well. Like he's one of those guys that when they're up, they're loud. They're lousy. When their team needs them, when they're down, then all of a sudden they're moving a little humble and whatnot. So I think he's one of the biggest reasons they're where they are right now. And Gobert, again, I don't think anyone can stop Jokic. But the idea is like, bro, like it's too easy, bro. Like Jokic does not even look like he's breaking a sweat to cook him, right? And for me, that's my problem with like you can't be the defensive player on the year and you're not making it difficult. Like even the games where Jamal Murray was cooking, you can see how hard he was working for his buckets. Like McDaniels was not making it easy for him. Sure, he dropped 20 something, 30 something, but you can tell like this guy worked for, 12 of the 15 buckets he got. But bro, it is too easy, man, for
And
Jokic. Like
Kyrie, just to add
too
to that,
easy.
I think Jokic kind of makes it look easy on certain players, but when you look at a player like Rudy Gobert, especially with his height, it looks even worse at the fact that he can't like stay in front of Jokic. Like, I'm not like not to be like disrespectful or anything, but like he almost makes him look dumb. Like when he like with the footwork, with just easy baskets,
Yeah,
like throwing the
yeah.
ball over with his left hand. Like I know Jokic has a certain style of play that looks like he's not trying, but against Rudy Gobert, I honestly agree with you. I don't think he's trying his hardest to make those baskets.
Yeah, and to touch on that too, it's like say someone like Draymond Green, for instance, Jokic still drops his numbers against Draymond Green. Do you get? But you can just see the harassment going on. Do you get? Like it's a battle in the sense that it's how like they gave Iggy defensive play MVP because of how well he defended LeBron. But LeBron stats those finals were still crazy. So sometimes it's not just about the numbers. It's like when you make this guy work for the buckets, then he doesn't have as much energy to do certain things again. But if he's not breaking a sweat or anything like that, then he can just have his, he can do whatever he wants to do, man. So I think for me, those are the biggest disappointments, sure. And at this point, it's just hard for me to see Timberwolves coming back into the series. Yeah. And then I think for Knicks, I believe Knicks would go through. I did pick Pacers originally, but they don't necessarily seem like a serious bunch. Bronson has been on a
Insane
tear.
tier
I definitely did not expect Bronson to be
without Randall
operating at
too,
this level
but
in the
yeah.
playoffs. Yeah, man, like he's going
So
crazy.
he's going crazy, but I feel like he
Um,
needs to trust his teammates a bit more and pass the ball. Bro, you can't do everything yourself. He just hogs the ball too much. But it is
yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
No, I agree. I agree. And to your point, they can't they can't win anyways, but they have a better chance of winning when others are involved because if you go to the finals, they are facing Celtics. If you want to drop 50-50 all the games, you drop 50-50-50 and lose. Like, do you get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, it reminds me of that LeBron Pacers series where Paul George was balling. You know, all the games were I think single digits games and everything, but they got swept. Do you get so? If your teammates, if you're not bringing your teammates into it, then you're not really going anywhere. But I guess shout out to Josh Hart too. Josh Hart too has had a really good
And
playoffs so
DiVincenzo
far.
too, to be honest, he's been
Um,
decent.
He literally saved them in the
yeah,
last game. He
Yeah,
just
he's
went
had a
off.
game winner too, I think. Yeah.
Those threes were
yeah,
very needed. Should we move on
yeah.
to
And
OKC?
then last game, yeah, that's
I
a
got my
crazy
boy
series, man. I won't
Luca.
lie.
Come on now.
But I wish Luca was healthy. I wish he was healthy.
So
I won't
I
even lie.
have an
I
agenda
wish he was fully
or
healthy.
something I've noticed from all the games. Dort is actively trying to make sure Luca cannot finish the series because there's no reason.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
he's been attacking him, like attacking his well-being,
yeah,
not just the ball. He's
yeah.
broken his
Yeah,
nose.
it's ridiculous.
Is tripped him on his ankle. Is we all know that Luca is struggling with his knee, and he's always there to when Luca wants to land from his shots. Like, guy, just give him space. Like, you know that you're here to defend, but give space, bro.
Andrew, I think that may be one of the funniest things you've said. You said he's actively trying to make sure he doesn't finish the series.
I'm dead ass.
Guys,
Every
guys,
game
crazy man. Yeah,
is
there's been
an
so many
injury,
jokes.
bro.
There's so many jokes on social media that Dodge should go to
Yeah,
intense
Or
now.
NFL,
Like
the NFL
is
man.
crazy.
NFL,
Like
yeah. Like, bro,
Yeah,
like,
bro.
what are you doing?
Your defending is ridiculous.
Like, it's our Luca. It's not
Um,
just like we still, all of us that are not Dallas fans, we still want to see Luca shine. So it's kind of annoying. Like,
yeah,
guy, relax.
exactly.
But it
Like, don't kill
is
this
what
guy
it
for
is,
us,
man.
man. But yeah, that's a crazy series. Honestly, I don't know which way it's going. Like, I can't even pick. If I said I wanted someone, obviously I'll take
OKC
Dallas
from me.
just because I feel like Dallas stand a better chance against Nuggets, right? And I think I mentioned this a couple episodes back where the thing is from the West, I was like the only team I think that can go against Nuggets is Dallas, just because when it comes to being in the clutch, they have Luka and Kyrie, and then for Nuggets, obviously, those are the only two players I think can go against those guys. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, OKC, I just love that team, and I want to see them be as successful as possible. And I also just love the franchise. I want to see them back at the playoff final or like a conference final, just for the sake of
I'll
it.
be honest, just because I need the media to back up Jason Tatum, I need a team outside of the Nuggets to make it to the finals.
That would be their
See, I swear to
excuse if he
God,
wins the ring and it's not against Nuggets. They'll just be like, oh, they had
That's
an
their
an
business,
easy
and no
run.
one cares about that. Like
bro, I don't even think it's going to be worse because, bro, I actually think they can, like, I feel like those guys will
Celtics are
crumble
not
again,
losing to
man.
any
And
team
if
outside
they
of the
don't,
Nuggets in the finals.
OKC can
I
hold
think I
them.
think they can, man.
OKC is not
No, no,
holding
okay, see, bro.
Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. I feel like you
You know the
guys
worst thing?
like put too much emphasis on some of those like poor games that Jason Tatum has had and things like that. You need to look at the
I
entirety.
disagree, man. His
No, not his
averages,
averages. I'm not looking at numbers. Just the entirety of what he's done in the playoffs. Like, go and look at Jason Tatum's numbers since he got into the league in the playoffs.
and I don't disagree, Tosin, but I feel like for every time Tatum's team has needed him the most, Brown shows up for Celtics in those
Lies.
games more
This
than
is
Tatum.
this is these are one-off games that we're looking at in game was it 5 or 7 where Tatum put up 51 points. Like, he
50.
has a
Yeah.
lot of he has a lot of
And
games
they
like
went to
that where
finals.
he's also put up those points and maybe they haven't won. But Jason Tatum is Celtics number one for a reason. Like, you guys, that's what you guys need to understand
Yeah,
that
he
like
is.
he's taking them to the Eastern Conference Finals like 4 years. Like no one else is doing this in the league except LeBron at some point in time.
No, but Tosin, but what's the point of going that far if you're just going to let
I
them
don't
down,
think
which
he's
is
letting
all
them
he
down. I
has
think
done,
it's more of a
literally.
thing of having a better team around him, having a better cast. Like, of
A
course,
better
Kayode.
team. What much, bro? Celtics have the
Yeah, but
best team in the league. What else
Porzingis
does he want? Like they've had the best league like 3 years
best team in
running.
terms of what? Like, what
In terms of the, like, if you remove Tatum, if you put every team side by side and you remove the best player, so Tatum included, right?
there are a
There's no
lot of
team
teams
better
better
than
than
Celtics.
Celtics. A lot
The
of
only
teams. If
team,
you take out Tatum,
like,
Tatum has
give
never
give
even
me
won
two,
MVP.
give
They
me
are
two
better than
teams, Tosin.
Celtics without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, like if that without, so you're taking, no, without your star man. So I'm saying, like, if you remove Tatum from Celtics, you remove Jokic from Nuggets, you remove Curry from Golden State, like that, right? And then compare those teams. Like, who has the
Nuggets are
better
probably
supporting cast?
better.
Essentially, I'm
Lakers are
trying to
probably
say.
better. Like
So, so Lakers without LeBron, you think is better than Celtics? Like Celtics
Celtics
without
this
Tatum.
season.
Celtics over the last three
Yeah, but
seasons.
Celtics haven't had they've had one All Star like the entire time. Okay, let me take even Clippers, right? Suns. There's so many teams I can mention. Kind of.
So I will. I guess we'll just disagree. Like, I feel Celtics have had the best team, and this is not just, obviously, this is not even my opinion. This is like, for the last 3-4 seasons, Celtics have had the best team on paper, right? But somehow they have the only season that wasn't underwhelming to me when it was all said and done was the year they lost to Golden State because they got to the finals. So it was their first time. They were meant to win the finals, but I can give them the benefit of the doubt where it's just like it was their first time there. So, I actually don't, again, I feel they should have won, but again, like, I don't really hold that against Tatum on some, like, bro, winning that is crazy and whatnot. But every other season, they've had like an underwhelming season. But I feel maybe this is discussion for another day. This is discussion for another. But I feel like Tatum, like I feel if Luca was in Tatum's shoes, I feel Celtics would have won a championship, at least one championship in the last three, three, 3 years. They would have won at least one. But I just think Tatum is not that guy,
Maybe, but
unfortunately. And till he proves, he not proves me wrong, because who am I? But like, till he proves that narrative wrong, like, he's just going to always continue not
fair
being
enough.
that guy.
But
But yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. Thanks everyone for listening to the episode up until this
Yep, yep.
point. Let us know your thoughts on everything we've spoken about. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next
peace.
episode. Peace.